One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. Hello, everybody. Matt Roberts with D1 Ticker and another One Question today with Miami, Ohio Athletic Director David Sayler. We're going to talk quite a bit about facilities and fundraising. David and his team are working on a $80 million graduating champions campaign. They are a significant way towards that goal. But $80 million, David, for a MAC school strikes me as a pretty aggressive goal. And I'd like to ask about the dynamics that are in place with Miami as an institution, your fundraising team, and the specific projects that are on the docket that are helping you guys move forward on an aggressive goal pretty quickly here.
Yeah, well, Miami's just got such a storied past and a great campus and a lot of successful alums. And so when I took the job here, I knew that I went to school, high school and college in Ohio, so I knew a lot about Miami's tradition and history. I knew about their athletic success in the past, and I knew that if I engaged donors properly, I thought we could do something like an $80 million campaign. I was fortunate the Board of Trustees were willing to let us move ahead with that. Miami had never done a campaign just for athletics in the history of the institution, and so this was a big opportunity for us, and we've seized it and ran with it, and we've put $63 million up on the board so far and looking to finish out the campaign. So it's just really been a unified effort with the president who hired me, David Hodge, and the Board of Trustees, and now continuing with our new president. So it's been a lot of fun to engage donors and show them how serious we are about becoming, in our mind, the best team in the conference in terms of winning championships across the board. That's our goal.
It's surprising, I guess, in some respects to hear that the university had never done an athletics-specific campaign, or that athletics had not ever done a specific campaign. Was there some education time that was needed to the donor base to really express why this specific pool of money was needed to move your department forward, or did they quickly get that?
I think there was a combination of things that the donors needed to hear. One was that we were committed and we were going to put the time in to really go after this, full bore, all as an institution. And second was, with all the moving parts of the autonomy group and the G5, can we be a player at this? Can we strive to be in the NCAA tournament? Can we strive to be the Access Bowl slot? And I'm convinced that we can, and we should. And I think that when donors kind of got those two things together, they've invested at record levels, and it's taken off. And now that the football team had the dramatic finish they had, that certainly helped kick donors into a higher gear, seeing the possibilities that exist here with Coach Martin. So it's really been a great effort by the whole university, and I feel blessed that we've got a great donor base to work with.
Yeah, I want to come back to the unique football story of this past season, but have you guys had success on the fundraising trail in geographic pockets, certain profiles of individuals who have been connected to athletics but never have been asked to give in a significant capacity, folks who have been giving on the university side and now have some shared interest in athletics? Where have the pockets of success come from?
Well, it's funny because anytime you take a job, there's always people say to you, hey, you got to get this person to do something. You got to get these people. They've been around. They've got money. They got resources. We had a couple families that have been very generous to Miami, and they told me quickly early on, hey, we don't always need to be the people you come to. We're happy to keep going and keep supporting what you're doing, and they love the plan, but they want to see some other people get involved. And so we had to get some early victories, and when we got John Harbaugh and Ben Roethlisberger, very high-profile alums, to actually give and announce their gifts and kind of make a big deal about it, that really seemed to open the floodgates to some other new people. And then, the example would be that the one family who gave us the lead gift on the building we broke ground on yesterday, or actually ribbon cut yesterday, they told me that they weren't going to give anything until, some other people got involved. And I said, okay, we're going to build an indoor facility, and I'm not going to ask you for $1. But when we get the indoor built, I'm going to come back to you, and I want you to, participate in a big way on the performance center. And I think he said yes just to get me out of his office, right? Like, okay, sure, whatever. Well, within 18 months, I was back asking him for a lead gift for the Performance Center because we did get the indoor fully pledged and built, and he did. He hopped on board, and that kind of momentum of getting more people involved is really what snowballed and even made the folks who have been giving give even more back.
Let's talk a little bit about the Harbaugh and Roethlisberger commitments and getting former student athletes to reinvest in programs where they spent developing years is certainly a topic that's hot for a lot of people. And look, Roethlisberger and Harbaugh, they have significant wealth at this point in their lives. So maybe that's an easier conversation for those two than, say, a men's basketball player who spent 10 years in Europe, and it's different scales of financial abilities. But what did you guys identify as keys to those conversations and those relationships to get it to the finish line?
I think both of them, more than anything, they're in a very competitive industry, right? They know what it takes to be successful and what level of commitment. And they both, I think, mainly just needed to hear how committed the university was to Division I athletics, and that we were striving to be the MAC champions, and we were striving to look at the Access Bowl. I think they needed to hear those things, and I think from a distance, when you leave an institution and you're kind of separated, you don't always get enough signals from the people at the university about where they're going and what kind of commitment exists. And so once they heard that and they saw my passion, I think they realized this was a different time and a different era. And the days of just kind of rolling the ball out there and winning because you're Miami, because you've got a great school and you recruit really good student athletes, that isn't enough anymore. You got to have facilities. You got to have the visible commitment to what you're doing. And I think once they embraced that was happening now and that existed, they were willing to go ahead and make gifts and for Ben, I mean, Ben's still relatively young in terms of the age of someone making a gift that he did of $1 million. But I think, hopefully there's more down the road, but he's been awesome to work with. And John has been tremendous to work with. It's not just a gift, but he allows us to come visit the Ravens, and I can bring donors to the facilities that they have and come to games, and he spends time with us. And so it's been awesome having them get engaged and really make this thing go.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.